Hello world, it's Takoya speaking. Welcome to episode 5. In this episode we'll introduce graph databases with focus on Neo4j. We'll also use the Cypher query language to create and query data in Neo4j. We'll then use client drivers for Neo4j, specifically the JavaScript Node.js driver. Now let's get started. Fundamentally, a graph database is a software tool that allows the user to model, store, and query data as a graph. Working with a graph at the database level is often more intuitive from modeling complex connected data, and can be more performant when working with complex queries that require traversing many connected entities. Neo4j is a native graph database that uses the property graph model for modeling data and the Cypher query language for interacting with the database. Neo4j is a transactional database with full ACID guarantees necessary for operational workloads and can also be used for graph analytics. Neo4j is open source and can be downloaded from the link in the description. We will make use of Neo4j Desktop and Neo4j Browser as we learn how to create and query data in Neo4j, but first, let's dig into the property graph model used by Neo4j and see how it relates to the model used to describe GraphQL APIs that we reviewed in the previous episode. Unlike other databases that use tables or documents to model data, graph databases like Neo4j model, store, and allow the user to query data as a graph. In a graph, nodes are the entities, and relationships connect them. In a relational database, we represent relationships with foreign keys and join tables. In a document database, we reference other entities using ID or even denormalizing and embedding other entities in a single document. The first step when working with a database is to determine the data model that will be used. In our case, our data model will be driven from the business requirements we defined in the previous episode, working with businesses, users, and reviews. Take time to review the requirements listed in the previous episode for a refresher. Let's take those requirements and our knowledge of the domain to create a whiteboard model. We will use the term whiteboard model to refer to the diagram typically created when first reasoning about a domain, which is often a graph of entities and how they relate, drawn on a whiteboard. How do we translate this mental model from the whiteboard model to the physical data model used by the database? In other systems, this might involve creating an entity relationship EI diagram or defining the schema of the database. Neo4j is said to be schema optional. While we can create database constraints to enforce constraints, such as property uniqueness, we can also use Neo4j without these constraints or a schema. But the first step is to define a model using the property graph data model, which is the model used by Neo4j and other graph databases. Let's convert our simple whiteboard model, shown previously, into a property graph model we can use in the database. There are many tools available for diagramming graph data models. We recommend using the Arrows tool, a simple web-based application that allows for creating graph data models. Arrows is available online at link provided in the description. The convention used for casing node labels is Pascal case, while a good guideline for naming relationships is that the traversal from a node along a relationship to another node should read as a somewhat comprehensible sentence. For example, user wrote review or review reviews business. You can read more about best practices for naming and conventions in the Cypher style guide at the link provided in the description. The following property types are supported by Neo4j: throw, float, long, date time, and other temporal types. Point. Lists of the previous types. Now that we understand the property graph data model, let's open Neo4j Desktop. Let's create a new project by selecting the New Project button. Select the Add button to instantiate a new local database and provide a password, then press Enter or select the Create button. Once instantiated, select the Start button to activate the database. When prompted to enter the password, do so or ignore. Next, open the Query Workbench by selecting Neo4j Browser from the drop-down in the Open button and begin writing Cypher queries. The first thing we need to do is create some data in our database using the merge command. Merge acts as an upsert, only creating data specified in the pattern if it does not already exist in the database. B becomes an alias that can be used to refer to this node later in the query. Here business is the specified label of the node we want to create. Name is a property of the business node that specifies its value. This is our graph pattern in this case. It is a node identified by the parentheses. This concept also applies to reviews and users. Relationships are defined within square brackets. Optionally, we can specify type and direction. To visualize the data being created, we can add a return clause to the Cypher statement, which will be rendered in Neo4j Browser as a graph visualization. Fun fact, when using merge, it is best to create a uniqueness constraint on the property that identifies uniqueness often an ID field. This creates an index in the database. So far, we have been using Neo4j Browser to execute our Cypher queries, which is useful for ad hoc analysis or prototyping. Typically, we want to create an application that interacts with the database programmatically. To do this, we make use of the Neo4j client drivers. For more information on Neo4j client drivers, visit link in description. The Neo4j GraphQL library is a Node.js library that works with any JavaScript GraphQL implementation, such as GraphQL.js and Apollo Server, and is designed to make it as easy as possible to build GraphQL APIs backed by a Neo4j database. The two main functions of the Neo4j GraphQL library are GraphQL schema generation and GraphQL to Cypher translation. Check description for link to Neo4j GraphQL library documentation. Alright, let's combine the concepts and tools we have discussed so far by building a GraphQL API that uses Neo4j as the data layer. First, make sure a Neo4j instance is running. Then you will need to install the Epoch Standard Library plugin if it's not already installed. Take note to empty your Neo4j database by running the detached delete Cypher statement. Next, let's load our sample dataset. Now that we have our Neo4j database loaded with our sample dataset, let's modify the Node.js project we set up in the previous episode. We can add two more dependencies to our package file by installing the Neo4j GraphQL library and Neo4j client drivers. These will respectively allow us to translate GraphQL queries to a single Cypher query, eliminating the need to write queries in GraphQL resolvers and allow for connecting to a Neo4j instance, either local or remote. Next, let's modify and review the index.js file. Importing our dependencies will now look like this. GraphQL type definitions also get a makeover. Can you spot the difference? This piece creates a connection to our Neo4j database. The next line is passing our GraphQL type definitions and database connection as we instantiate the Neo4j GraphQL class. Our generated GraphQL schema is passed to Apollo Server. And then here we can finally start the GraphQL server. Let's run our program turning on debug logging for the Neo4j GraphQL library so we can see the generated Cypher queries being sent to the database. Take note, debug logging might not work with certain command lines, so we recommend using git bash. We can quickly execute a query to return business names to confirm that everything is working as expected. This is all for now. In the next episode, we will start looking at building user interfaces with React. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.